This is ABC7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. A big scare at a Suncoast Middle School.
Manatee County Sheriff's deputies say a teenager called King Middle School early this morning, threatening to shoot all students and employees. Deputies say a 13-year-old girl left a voicemail on the school's answering machine around 5:30, saying she was coming to the school to shoot all staff and students. Staff members got the message around 8:30, just before classes began, and notified the school resource officer. The school was put into lockdown. Parents were notified by a robocall. By 9:30, deputies say they located the teen who had made the threat at her home and arrested her. She's not a student at King Middle. Deputies say there was no evidence the teen had the ability to carry out that threat. Well, school resource officers are staffed at all middle and high schools in Manatee County, and at all but one elementary school, a group of SROs rotate patrols.
Tonight, in our Behind the Badge series, we're taking a look at local law enforcement at our area schools. ABC7's Jacqueline Matter shows us what's being done at Palmetto Elementary to make students feel safe.
Walking the halls of Palmetto Elementary, dozens of children can be seen asking for a hug or a fist bump.
Good morning.
Isaac, go get your backpack.
Oh.
And in this crowd of elementary schoolers playing dodgeball, you'll see a face you wouldn't expect.
Go get him, Aim at the feet, aim at the feet.
That's Officer Douglas Marston, a member of the Palmetto Police Department and the school resource officer at Palmetto Elementary. Marston has spent 3 years as an elementary school resource officer, but has been with the force for more than a decade.
You are the liaison from the police department to the school, to the public, and to the parents.
His position is fully funded by the Palmetto Police Department, and daily duties include
walk around the campus, just make sure everybody's in their classrooms, there's nothing out of the ordinary. Just getting here? Okay. Come on, kiddo, let's get you to class, all right? As the day goes on, if disciplinary issues arise, I'll go from there, and I just do a peek out here real quick, make sure there's nobody parked out here, it doesn't belong. I do go into classrooms and explain what I do for a living, let them ask questions. From there, with the questions related, it gives me a basis of where they're at.
Officer Marston has quickly proven to be much more than just a police presence. He's become a shoulder to lean on, a friend for both younger and older students alike.
Nico, how you doing? Good.
I feel safe because he's a police officer, and if something is wrong or if somebody is like bullying people, I could just go to him and I could talk to him.
I wave out of my car to him all the time. So does my mom, so yeah, he's pretty great.
He says having police presence on an elementary level is just as important as higher grade levels.
Yes, I will go out of my way to save these kids' lives. The thing with this position, you just never know. I mean, it can go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds flat, and then you're back down to 0 again. You don't know if a child has had an issue from the night before, and all of a sudden he breaks down in a classroom.
When it comes to items confiscated on campus, he says it's usually students bringing items they've found on their way into school.
Like a knife or they've even found a pair of brass knuckles laying on the side of the ground. Unfortunately, some of them have picked up, a weapon here and there or something that's inappropriate. They'll bring it in and they'll hand it off to you.
His hope is also to educate students, to help officers become a positive presence in their lives.
By starting off at the kindergarten level, these kids can see that I'm a human. Okay, I'm no different than they are.
Marston says there's a strong mental aspect to this job.
Trying to find out when there is an issue, what is going on sometimes in these children's heads. You just never know what's going to happen, why they are upset or what is going on if there is an issue. So you want to figure that out very quickly.
And his biggest reward,
watching these kids grow up and then seeing them progress in a positive way. So yeah, that's the fun part. That is, it's, they feel so successful.
In Palmetto, Jacqueline Matter, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Jacqueline, thank you. For a list of where school resource officers patrol in Sarasota and Charlotte counties, you can go to our website, mysuncoast.com.
A preschool that's been open in the West Bradenton community for more than 50 years will soon be closing. Palmasola Presbyterian Church's preschool and after-school programs will close permanently this fall. The church apparently wants to go in a different direction, and they say they can no longer support their mission. Around 90 kids attend this preschool. It will close on August 4th.
Sarasota County school employees may soon have to follow stricter smoking rules. Tonight, the school board will consider changing the district's smoking policy. Right now, employees are prohibited from smoking on district property or in district vehicles, but they can still smoke in designated areas. The school board may now change the policy so employees can no longer smoke in those designated areas, which includes electronic cigarettes. The policy would also be updated to prohibit smoking in a building or facility leased to the school board, and visitors and volunteers would not be allowed to smoke on district property as well.
A follow-up now on a change that could affect all homeowners in Florida. Florida residents will vote next year on a new property tax break. Today, the State House voted to put a constitutional amendment on the 2018 ballot that would allow homeowners to shield an additional $25,000 of the value of their home from most property taxes. Currently, homeowners have an exemption that shields $50,000. If 60% of voters say yes to this change, the amendment would take effect in 2019.
Well, a cold front giving some people a little bit of rain.
I got a
overnight.
little bit at my house,
Yeah.
so it's nice to see a few puddles out there. We're not used to that, Bob.
Yeah, I saw some around my town as well, and so we are looking at a little bit better chance for Friday showers and a few thunderstorms, some of which could be strong. So we'll look for that to come. The front itself is moving through our area right now. We'll put this map into motion to show you at 9 a.m. this morning. It was making its way through Hillsborough and Pinellas County, and then showers really exploding into central Florida, not much near the coastline. We had some rain this morning, obviously, but notice the outflow boundary from these big storms. We had a series of collisions of outflow boundaries all around, and you can see that kind of spreading off to the west right now into the area of Hardee and DeSoto counties. Currently, we have sunshine, still warm, 87 degrees, west winds at 12, and the pressure 2996. Mentioned that rain earlier. The showers approaching Pinellas and Hillsborough County just around 10 o'clock were rather significant, but then they weakened as they made their way through Manatee County and Sarasota County now with the biggest cells inland, and then other cells starting to develop along that sea breeze, or I should say outflow boundary, into Hardee and DeSoto counties. Well, much more on our weather forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Bob, thank you. The number of candidates hoping to serve as Florida's next governor keeps growing. Today, former Democratic U.S. Representative Gwen Graham announced she's running for governor, hoping to win the seat her father held 2 terms before serving in the U.S. Senate. Gwen Graham served 1 term in Congress, but chose not to seek re-election last year after new congressional maps made her district firmly Republican. Prior to Congress, Graham worked as a Leon County school system administrator and as an attorney. Orlando businessman Chris King and Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum are also seeking that Democratic nomination.
The spending bill to avoid a government shutdown looked to be a solid compromise with wins for both sides, but the White House now says that's not the case. Meanwhile, the fight over health care reform is again ramping up. ABC's Janae Norman is in Washington tracking the latest.
Democrats didn't win. President Trump did by out-negotiating them. That's the message from Budget Director Mick Mulvaney about the bipartisan spending bill to keep the government funded through September.
They were desperate to make this administration look like we couldn't function, like we couldn't govern. And we know that a large part of their base, especially their left-wing base, wanted a shutdown and certainly didn't want them to cut a deal with us.
The more than $1 trillion spending measure doesn't include cuts to Planned Parenthood or sanctuary cities, nor does it include funding for the president's proposed border wall or the president's proposed cuts to agencies like the EPA. Still, Mulvaney insists Trump won.
The president delivered on his promises and got his priorities funded. They want you to think they won. What they don't want you to know is the American people won here because the president simply out-negotiated them.
We felt that it was a bipartisan negotiation. As I said, the leaders, Democrat and Republican, House and Senate, work well together, and why ruin that?
And the fixation on scoring a Trump victory isn't over.
How's health care coming, folks? How's it doing? All right, we're moving along.
The president hasn't gotten any major legislative win, but hopes to change that this week with a vote on the GOP's amended plan to repeal and replace Obamacare.
We're excited about this policy. We're making very good progress with our members, and our president has been instrumental in that.
Vice President Pence was on Capitol Hill today meeting with moderate Republicans on health care. House GOP would like to see a vote before Congress leaves town Friday, but they still need more support. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
With a new commander-in-chief focused on rebuilding the military, the U.S. Army is working hard to fill out its ranks. The Army's goal is to recruit 6,000 people over the next 5 months. That's the largest in-year increase in the history of the Army. And as tensions rise with Syria and North Korea, President Trump says he wants an even larger force, as many as 60,000 more soldiers. The question is whether that's possible. About 50% of young people report having little to no knowledge of the military, and more than 70% don't even qualify for military service.
We're always looking, but yes, that has been a little bit of a mission increase for us.
I'm excited, not for a potential war, but to help protect the nation that we live in.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, we'll hear from a recruitment officer from the Army about the challenges they face when it comes to filling out their ranks. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, a heartbreaking story of a young Suncoast teen diagnosed with melanoma.
Basically, it was just moving around his body, and finally it overcame the defenses of his body.
Up next, a dermatologist explains what you need to look out for and how often you should get checked for skin cancer.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPV.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
May is Melanoma Awareness Month.
Unfortunately, here on the Suncoast, dermatologists are reporting more melanoma cases than ever before. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from the Bayfront with what you need to know. Jess.
Good evening, Scott and Haley. 1 in 50 Americans will have an experience with melanoma in their lifetime. That's an alarming number. Dermatologists here on the Suncoast are urging residents to get tested because your prognosis is much more favorable if you're diagnosed early rather than late. Oliver Bucknell was just 17 years old when he was diagnosed with melanoma.
When he was growing up, he had a history of warts on his back. We took him to the doctor, who said, well, I could just cut this out, but I think perhaps we should have a bit more of a look at it.
Oliver's dad says a wart was sent off for testing. The results revealed that Oliver had stage 4 melanoma.
It metastasized to his wrist. He had quite a big tumor on his wrist. It also metastasized to his brain.
Oliver tried every treatment there was: surgery, chemotherapy, other powerful medicines, but the cancer kept spreading. Oliver fought for his life for 4.5 years, but tragically lost his battle in 2015 when he was just 22 years old.
And he always used to say to me, Dad, you know, if we can save one life, all this would have been worthwhile.
Dermatologists warn that Floridians need to have their skin checked at least once a year.
Nationally, melanoma is on the rise. More and more cases are being diagnosed every year. And in fact, in our practice, we broke the records with the number of melanomas in February. We had an exceedingly large number of melanomas.
And check yourself at home at least once a month, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet.
And what you're looking for are the letters A, B, C, D, and E. A for asymmetry, one half not equaling the other. B for irregular border. C for color, irregular variegated colors. D for diameter, which means getting bigger than a pencil eraser. And E for evolution, so something that's changing.
The spot that you may not even know you have could turn out to be your problem spot.
Melanoma is very curable if caught early.
So don't wait to go get checked out. And remember, melanoma can happen to anyone.
Do it. Take it seriously.
Dermatologists recommend when you're using sunscreen that you should use a shot glass size worth amount on your entire body and make sure it is more than 30 SPF. In Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Jess. Great reminder, especially as we're heading into summer, to always put on that sunscreen.
That's right. We are also going to be seeing lots of sunshine, too, tomorrow, so load it up if you're heading outdoors. We had a little bit of cloudiness around today. Another front, though, is due to arrive late Thursday and into Friday. That could bring some severe weather our way, or at least some strong storms on Friday morning mainly. And then much cooler weekend ahead. You know, this past weekend, one of the hottest on record in April, and now we're going to look for some cooler temperatures below average both Saturday and Sunday, it appears. Lakewood Ranch webcam is back in operation, and we can see some clouds around occasionally throughout the day today. Not much rainfall, but there is an outflow boundary that we are watching that could bring a few isolated showers our way later on this evening, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. And the radar picture depicting a lot of rainfall now east into the eastern portion of the state. But some lines of showers and storms starting to develop into Hardy, DeSoto, stretching down to eastern Charlotte County. And it had some wind damage down near Lake Okeechobee. I wanted to show you this picture. This is all those big storms developing and the outflow boundary kind of trailing out of that, creating this line that you see right there. It's like a miniature cold front. Again, this is a close-up look showing that line developing. It comes in from the northeast and then works its way to the southwest. You'll notice what trails behind it are storms, and that's what it does. It initiates storms as it makes its way to the southwest, and now it's into eastern Manatee and eastern Sarasota County at this time, or at least western portions of DeSoto County. And it's a real miniature cold front, if you will, as a result of some heavy rainfall to the east, and that's pushing off to the west. We have this west wind, so there's a convergent zone setting up. And that's where the outflow boundary is. So we could see another isolated cell or so developing in eastern portions of Manatee County over the next hour or so. Rainfall totals were impressive in South Sarasota, over 2 inches. Their estimates from the Doppler radar site. Also near Northport, just to the west of Northport, 1.3 inches of rain. Near Beneva, kind of a bullseye right there. There's a little bit of a difference in terms of the amount, estimated to be over a ½ inch in that small little area right there near Beneva, just west of I-75. And notice not much happening in downtown Sarasota. We had a little bit of rainfall there, but too small of amount to really be detected. And near Southgate, 0.2 of an inch of rain. The front itself is very small. And again, with this visible satellite imagery, you can kind of see the explosion of storms there and causing that little line of showers to pop up now near Arcadia. Currently, the airport, lots of sunshine around, 87 degrees, and the dew point is at 70. The high today, 87. That's pretty much what our current temperature is right now, 72 was the morning low. And as far as the hourly forecast goes tomorrow, well, little or no chance of rain. The rain chance at 20% for a passing shower or two in the afternoon. Well, here's a look now at the boating forecast. Southeasterly winds turn to the southwest at 5 to 10 knots, and there'll be a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature warming up 84 degrees now, and beaches will see a high right around 85. The UV index will be high tomorrow at 10. So sunscreen, always a big factor, especially when the high cirrus clouds are around. It looks cloudy, there's still sun and some of those dangerous rays getting through those clouds. Partly cloudy, a slight chance for a few evening storms scattered about, 67. And then for tomorrow, look for sunshine and warm temperatures, highs in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. East winds at 5 to 10. The extended forecast is calling for a much better chance for some more widespread rain beginning late Thursday night, Friday morning. Some of those storms could be strong and then cooler and clearing just in time for the weekend. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. Now the Suncoast Traffic Watch. No accidents right now, but traffic is backed up a little on US 41 in the northbound lanes. That is near Bee Ridge Road.
Today on Capitol Hill, lawmakers grilling airline executives after that shocking incident last month where a doctor was dragged off a United flight. A doctor being violently kicked off a plane was the final straw for lawmakers, but United is not the only industry giant in the hot seat. American, Southwest, and Alaska Airlines all face tough questions from the House Transportation Committee. Lawmakers are looking for ways to improve the customer experience and hold the airlines accountable.
If you fly often, you may want to mark your calendar. The Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport is announcing that it will hold a 4th enrollment event for the popular TSA PreCheck program. It will take place at SRQ from June 5th through the 16th. Those enrolled in PreCheck will be able to move through security faster. You don't have to take off your shoes. You don't have to remove your liquids. And you also go in that special line most of the time that says TSA PreCheck. It's usually shorter. But I worry with so many people signing up, it might start evening out.
But at least you keep your shoes on.
It helps you breeze through.
Yeah. Entertainment news is next.
Now's the perfect time to create a custom system with California Closets. During our Door and Drawer event, save up to $500 on beautiful doors and drawers for any room. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
When you've been in banking for a long time, it's easy to forget what it was like in the beginning. It took a lot of work and dedication for 7 teachers to start our credit union and create a foundation that we continue to build on today. At Achieva, we never lose sight of the values that have defined us for over 75 years. We know you need mobile banking and lightning-fast solutions, but sometimes you might just need a helping hand. Any bank can make a transaction, but it takes a little more to make a difference. And that's good to know. Achieva, banking for good.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
The Wild Broadway series at the Players Center brings you the classic farce, Boeing, Boeing. It's the 1960s, and our swingin' bachelor is juggling 3 beautiful stewardesses from 3 competing airlines. But what happens when Boeing produces a faster plane? Comedy ensues. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. Opening April 26th, it's Boeing, Boeing.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
Come into a California Closet showroom to experience our quality materials and construction and collaborate with our designers to create the perfect custom solution for any room. Go to californiaclosets.com to request a free design consultation and locate the showroom nearest to you.
A tearful Jimmy Kimmel turned his late-night show monologue into an emotional story about his newborn son.
During Jimmy Kimmel Live last night, he told the audience about how his son's routine birth last week suddenly turned frightening. Several hours after his wife gave birth to William John, a nurse at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center alerted the couple to the baby's purplish color and an apparent heart murmur. The baby was born with congenital heart disease that required surgery. Glad to report that the baby is now okay, doing well, although he will have to face further surgeries in the future. Carol Burnett is also ready to get back to work. The 84-year-old comedy legend is starring in a new ABC sitcom produced by Amy Poehler called Household Name. Burnett plays an eccentric, aging movie star who's still living in her old mansion, even though the home's new owners, a young family, have already moved in. Burnett says Poehler will play her daughter in future episodes. ABC is expected to announce its full slate of new shows later this month.
Exciting. We'll be right back.